Text. You need tech support for StreamYard.
No. Hey, well, I'm glad everybody didn't catch that with them. Back and forth. So, coordinate.
You still need the thing.
Hmm?
You still need headphones.
So, tech support, come with it.
This is the second time you done messed up the StreamYard.
You know what? I clicked the button. I didn't mess up anything.
Hmm.
Nobody knows but us. But yet you should. It's cool though.
No, the other one, the stream was going and then it stopped.
That's on StreamYard.
It's in the comment section. You should go look at the last video.
That's on StreamYard.
Mm,
The button is way in the top of the corner. I'm not clicking nowhere over there.
mm, mm, hmm.
You know I don't like struggle for me.
And we're doing it right now.
Probably not.
Struggling. Struggling for sound.
You're not struggling. I hear me.
Mm, mm, mm. Let me turn it down in my ear. So
Do that.
so drafty.
It's okay.
So noisy.
That's okay. You might be catching all those things at your place too.
Mm-mm. It's you.
Drafted.
It's you. I put my headphones on so you can't hear it.
So welcome, Howie Lennox.
Don't cut me off.
I didn't cut you off. You stopped speaking.
No, I did. I
We're
paused.
waiting for more people to come on in.
I,
What are we doing? Tell me your thoughts on it. Did you get a chance to like woo-saw from the first show?
mm-mm.
No, you still amped up, fired, pistol.
Balls and all.
Oh, okay. Do I just need to go to the back? Do I need to just give you the floor? Because I know how you get.
How do I get?
Everybody know how you get. It's documented.
I don't. You still didn't say how I get. You like you say, use your words.
I've seen it. You fired on all cylinders.
I don't know what that means.
I might just need to just, go off the screen and let you finish that thing on that. I'm surprised we having a second show.
Why?
I am.
Why?
Because you was on a roll.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was like, you know how you go out to church and go use the restroom, you go, ooh, it was
Mm-mm.
silent. I could hear crickets back there. I was like, where everybody at?
What's going on,
Where they at
Charlene?
though? It was wild. Like folks
Mm-mm.
was on silent. What I what I appreciate, through it all is that, everything is backed up by the data. And it's not old data from the 50s and the 1800s. It's
The
recent
early
data.
1900s.
The early 1900s. It's recent data, and it's relevant to what's going on. You
Mm-hmm.
know, heart disease, hypertension, those things, they're silent killers. You could be working out all day and doing being a peak of physical fitness, but your diet plays a big part. You can't just eat anything. You need more fruits and vegetables and water and sunlight, and there's all these things that you need mentally and physically to make you okay. And people are just we're depriving ourselves of sleep, of affection, of just simple things in life that we take for granted until we're not able to do those things. um and we always have this conversation like go get a health check. You don't have to wait on your primary physician to get a blood panel. Every lab, you can go and schedule your own blood panel. you know um so much information online. Of course, they're going to help you articulate through it, but articulate the findings, but you can also find that information online. What is, what your plasma looks like, what's your sodium levels, your vitamin D in there, your cholesterol. These things matter. Good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, like all those things matter on how you feel. Any vitamin deficiencies, like they affect our lives, our moods, on a daily basis. So, you know, health is wealth, but not just health in a sense where I could think and move, but holistically, what does that look like? Mind, body, and soul. So take some time out for you.
What's going on, Juan? How are you? I don't know. This may not be exciting. It's the first one.
Was the first one? It was it considered exciting? I don't think I don't think of them as exciting.
What do you
But
think
now,
of them?
Foolish Finance Fridays is exciting because you just don't know what the heck is gonna come out next. Like, who? What? Why? I'm like, "Ugh, are your cousins Faith and Mary last night?" I'm like, man, like lady,
And we was up late last night on the in the after hours show.
hey, come on, ladies, y'all know better. But you think people know better just because they're in a certain stratosphere that they have those people around them. But some people just don't know, or you get in love and you think people because Stevie and Faith have known each other for a very long time. They practically grew up together, and you like you think that person that is not gonna do me like that. Oh, that person would never do me like that.
They say Faith Evans' net worth is 27 million. Faith Evans earned 3 million annually through her music and businesses. Just like walking around making 3 million. What's the last Faith album? We know her first one. What's her last album?
But one thing I can say about Faith, she's a working musician.
Yeah.
She started in the studio doing session work and demo work, a writer.
She was writing before her first album,
Yeah.
before
So,
95.
she's in the business of music.
And she can do gospel. So yeah, she's 2017. King and I didn't even get that album. I'm like, you're not gonna trick me. This is a good album. This had some good songs on it.
I don't have nothing past 1995.
We know you don't. This had some good songs on it. This had some good songs on it. This was I want to say this was like around when she had went to jail and stuff. I don't know about that. I didn't even know she had a best of faith. I didn't even know about this one in 2014. I had to go listen to it. She ain't got that many tracks on there. I'll go listen to it, see what she's talking about. I didn't even know she had one in 2014. Mm, I'm behind. I usually try to get her. I usually try to support Faith. We know you don't have nothing after this one, cause by this time '98 she was getting happy, so you don't have a happy album.
I don't know what you're referring to. I mean, not
Listen,
having that happy album. I'm just, a lot of
do you
music is digital. So
okay
you didn't have to buy any, you didn't have the pleasure of going to physically
okay?
buy
So
anything.
all right. So what's the last?
I do happy music. What are you
Okay,
talking about?
hold
I'm a
on,
happy person.
hold on. What's the last Mary J. Blige album you bought?
I don't have to buy the album.
Dion, I'm talking digital. We're talking digital. When's
I, I, I don't have to. I can't touch the radio in the car no way. So it doesn't matter.
that's not what I asked
I just go online
you.
and
I didn't.
listen to all of them. I go to YouTube and I just hit a Mary J playlist and I have all the albums.
Okay, what's the last album you listened to from Mary J?
The last one she had.
Okay, which was
The last one.
you don't even know the name of it.
The last one.
What's the that? What is the name of it?
The last one. Pull it up.
No, what is the name of the album?
What is the name of the album, Tamika?
Because you said you listened to it.
What I have it's on the playlist. What's the name of the album?
What I'm
Don't look,
asking
you
you.
looking it up. What's the name of the album?
I'm
You don't
asking
even know the
you.
name.
I'm asking you.
What is the name of it?
I'm asking you, Dion. What is
What's
the
the
name
name
of
of it?
the album you thinking
The
about?
Strength of the Woman, the tour that she's doing and all of that. That's The Strength of the Woman.
Did you listen to the album?
Yeah, I listened to it. But she got that mushroom on. That can't be the last one. The mushroom is the last one. Pull up the playlist. Pull up the tracks.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, I've listened to that album.
You listen to this song and maybe two other songs on this album. That's it.
Tamika, you don't know me. I've listened to all of that stuff. All those albums on there, listen to.
You listen to Stronger each year, each tier. You heard that album?
All of those albums I
You
didn't
heard
heard
this
since August.
album?
Yeah.
I ain't
all of
never
them.
heard this album.
Please don't play it. Listen to it when it's over. Listen to it when it's over.
You ain't never heard this album.
Listen
either.
to it when it's
You
over.
ain't never heard this album. Either. You know you ain't heard that album.
You ain't gonna worry me.
You only know that you know my life.
I went digital.
No, the latest album is Good Morning Gorgeous 2022.
That's why I said the Strength of the Woman can't be the last one because she got that mushroom. She is on her sexy blonde fabulous auntie area, so I knew that couldn't be one.
You don't.
Yes, that's it right there.
You don't know none of these songs.
Yes, I do. I know Good Morning Gorgeous.
Cause you seen her sing it live on Good Morning
You don't know
America.
me. You don't
On
know
Good
where I
Morning
heard that.
America. On Good
I
Morning
didn't.
America.
Stop it.
You only on her.
I got iTunes.
Well,
Don't worry me.
you know you ain't listen to this album.
I swear.
You ain't listen
I
to
always
that
want to
album.
be the boss of my musical selections.
I ain't the boss. I just know the truth.
You don't know the truth. You don't even live here.
I know the
How
truth.
do you know what's going on in my day to day?
I know the truth. I know you ain't listen to that.
Shit.
Because I know you.
No, you don't know nothing
You,
about me.
you ain't
I don't
listen,
even know me day to day.
you ain't crack open that album. You gonna go to YouTube, you gonna go through it, you gonna be like, I don't know what this trash is. Good morning,
Why you
gorgeous.
calling
This,
her
that, and
stuff
that.
trash? You didn't hear that, did
I don't
you?
know the trash. That's how you talk. I'm talking how you talk.
That's not how I talk to me. I'm
This
a
is
nice lady.
trash.
I am a nice lady. I would never call nobody stuff
It's
hot garbage.
trash. You be like, this is
Absolutely
trash.
not.
This is trash.
Absolutely not. What's on the agenda for today?
Mary J.
Natasha,
Blige.
hey Natasha.
Mary J. Blige new album.
No, that's not how we Linux. Can you wrap that around Linux? What were
Yes,
you talking about?
yes. I can wrap that
Go,
around
please.
Linux. Yeah,
Start with that.
yeah. I can
Start with
wrap
that.
that around Linux. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Start with that.
yeah. So all you have to do is you have to download Linux desktop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once you download Linux desktop, you also need to download Mary J. Blige's album, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to find a particular player for your musical selection, whether it's MP3 or
Mm-hmm.
MP3 or MP4. And
Mm-hmm.
then once you do that, you can set up the skins and stuff like that on your desktop, and also automate it to make a cron job so that it comes on every morning at 5 a.m. as your motivational music and so forth. I can wrap it around Linux. In fact, I should set that up for you. I should set it up for you for the TV to come on at 5 o'clock in the morning and play Good Morning
I don't have
Gorgeous
to do all of that
at
just
five
for the TV
a.m.
to come
That's
on. I
what,
can
yeah.
just set that
And
down
I
to
could and
TV.
I could set Linux up. I could set up Linux on there to do that for you.
I don't need tech support to do that. I need tech support to source some new equipment.
Well,
First, work on this laptop and these earphones.
mm, no,
That's what you need to do.
no,
Tech support.
no. You need to talk to the both sides.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
You need to talk to the both sides to get you some headphones and a new
But
laptop.
what is that? I'm doing women in Linux right now. This is live.
Who broke
We
college
live
students?
with women in Linux.
Broke college students.
We're live.
Anyway, you're not gonna ruin my high. Next
What
week,
high are you on?
next
You
week,
don't do drugs. What are you talking about?
I said
What
you're not
high are
gonna
you on?
ruin my high. Why does drugs have to be associated with my high?
Because that's what I mean. Enlighten me on what's your other high?
I just
What's,
had a
what,
I
what's
had a
your other high?
smoothie. I had a smoothie. That's a high.
Like you said, I know you, and I sure know that smoothies don't make you high.
Hmm. Anyway, let's put you in the background.
There you go with that bullshit.
This is it. This is so peaceful. Hello, everyone. How are y'all? How are y'all doing today? Right?
You should have just kept going with the first show.
She was talking about something. I don't know what she's talking about. Anyway, so next week is the meetup in person. We'll be in person next week. And also, we all have the results from the poll. They have the results from the poll. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so it looks like from the poll, Linux and AI won. So I'll do that one first. And then it looks like Linux and high frequency trading came in second. And then real estate and telcos. So I could probably do real estate and telcos together. I voted for the telcos. Nobody wanted to hear that. But we'll do Linux and AI for the show. I may do that live in the show in Atlanta. Linux and AI and so forth. I don't know. D, what do you think we should do for the live show?
I'm just showing up so I won't get fined. I have no idea what's on your agenda.
I don't
I
have
want to
one.
be wild and amazed just like the audience.
That's no fun.
Why?
Cause you gotta be engaging. Cause
I
we're
am
gonna be
engaged.
live. We're gonna be live and we're gonna be talking and going back and forth. You have to be engaged. You have to know the material. This is nonsense.
I mean, you can tell me what we're gonna be talking about.
Hmm?
So you can tell me what we're gonna be talking about.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Are you saving these agendas for the live, or we're about to pick something now?
No, this is not gonna be the show. I got other stuff today.
So again, what are you thinking?
I don't have anything.
That's so hard for me to believe.
I don't have anything.
That's so hard for me to believe.
What would
So
y'all
when we
want to
go
hear?
and we meet these people live, in your brain, because you've been trying to do this, what is the flow? What do you want to happen?
You know me, I'm like people should bring their laptop so we could do a live Linux session. But I'll be nice and not to go that hard in the paint. That's
It's
just
not a
my thought.
meetup though.
It is. It's a meetup
I thought we
in
were doing
person.
a live
It's a mix.
stream.
You asking me, right? To me in my head, it's a mix of training, a live show, and a meetup. All three. And meetup is different than training and the live show. Meetup, we get together, we yap it up. Training, we actually train, and then the live show. In my head, that's what I'm thinking. Then I was like, ooh, should I get the room for more than 4 hours? Should I get for five? Hmm. So this is why I ask. In person, live show.
I have to see what room you're going to pick out. Because in my mind, in your mind, it's two different things. And then we only have a certain amount of people in there. So I mean, based on who's there, and they want to get on camera. I see it just as a, like a fireside chat for everybody. We don't get people on, you know, just us, little camera, just chopping it up.
That sounds so boring and wet.
That's what you do anyway.
That sounds so
Every night.
boring.
That's what y'all was doing last night.
That sounds boring and wet.
Well, I might be boring and wet.
Wackadocious. Mm.
See?
Anyway, Linux and AI will be the topic of discussion, if not next week, the following week. And then Linux and high frequency trading, followed by real estate. So expect on how we Linux those three topics. We're gonna go from there. Um, let's get into it. Um, yeah, sure. All right, let's start here first, D. Um, so ISC squared has pledged to train 1 million people for free in cybersecurity courses and exam. See yourself in cybersecurity. Don't need experience, just passion and a drive. As part of as part of our commitment to diversity and inclusion. You can start your journey by creating an account, fill out the application and the form. You will find your access on the candidate benefits page. Upon passing the exam, complete the application and the annual maintenance fee of $50. Once completed, you'll become a certified member of ISC Squared, largest association of certified cybersecurity professionals, and so forth. And you can get started. They ask you you ask what it's about, what should you consider, why, who should consider, uh, how much work experience, no work experience. Why will this certification be different than the foundational certification? We believe this need still exists in our industry for certifications that is attainable for newcomers and recognizes growing trend of people entering cybersecurity workforce without direct IT experience. What can you expect from an online self-paced course? You need to study is what you should be expecting, and you need to take notes, and you need to go over the information over and over, and you need to find a study buddy. Can I take the exam without starting or completing the education course? Yes, you can take the exam at any time. How do I register? And they have a whole registration. I already have ISC Squared certification or associate ISC Squared. Can I participate in this program, in this free program? Nope. What do I need to know about the exam? Is follow exam policies, ISC Squared exam policies and practices, exam scheduling. It covers 5 domains, and those 5 domains are security, business continuity, access control concepts, network security, and security operations. The exam is 100 multiple choice questions. It is 2 hours long. Can I skip a test exam on the? Can I skip a test item on the exam and answer it later? No, all items must be answered in order they're presented. You cannot skip an item on the exam, return to it later. How will you know if you pass? You will receive a pass or fail on as a result on site at the test center. If it do I not pass the first time, can I take it again for free? Nope. Can I take the exam online? It's only available in person with Pearson View. Is the exam available worldwide? Yes, you can use Pearson View Centers to find that. It's in multiple languages. Let's see. What is the fee? The annual fee is $50, but um, as an employer, what does that mean if the job candidate has the certification? Those who pass the exam have proven their knowledge, skills, and abilities in the fundamentals of cybersecurity. They have a proficient understanding of policies, processes, and have demonstrated their commitment to further their education and development. You must be 16 years or older. Why is developing an entry level ISC Square developing an entry level certification? Research from ISC Square and others continue to conclude there's a global shortage of qualified professionals. This is kind of like the witch or whistle kind of situation. You could follow this up with a cloud or AWS. I mean, not AWS, but Ansible, or maybe some type of configuration management to show how to configure and automate cybersecurity policies or processes or sticks or something like that. That will work, right? DoD you still need Security Plus.
That's what you
Uh,
need.
right. So that's that. So T, what do you know about Linux consultants? How many of you know what a Linux consultant is? Put a one into the chat if you ever heard of a Linux consultant.
Just specifically Linux. I mean, I know you and I don't think you we've ever did anything that was just purely Linux consulting per se. That was strictly Linux.
Okay.
So I mean, do I know someone that can do it? Absolutely. But I
Right.
think it's more to that.
Okay. Linux consulting. Has anybody else heard of or met a Linux consultant?
Linux consult-
This is the
And they
way
just
I
start at
live.
$165 an hour. Then I see Linux to look like in tech support. I see
Mm, mm,
tutors.
mm, mm,
Let's see.
mm.
Hire Linux consultants. System design, architecture, Linux server migrations, installations, server management, remote server administrators. Well, like I said, you know, you got to know more than just Linux.
So Heather says no. All right, so I went on this search. I don't have my notes here, but that's okay. All right, so let's talk about Linux consulting.
Why am I on the same thing? I'm on the same page. I'm looking at their Linux consulting services. Binds, great binds.
All right, so let me go to my book here. And let me get my note. My thing here. So remember, I was going over this book, The $1 Million Consulting, the professional guide to growing a practice, and also um going through different consulting companies, in particular those that are focused on Linux, and going from there. So we'll do a little dive on this, right? Um, Let me expand this out. Build it and tell them you built it, right? The power of the assertive expert value, right? And my favorite part, my favorite word, execution. How to deliver the value rapidly, effortlessly, and effectively to create the evergreen clients. Um, and you always hear people talk about the evergreen clients, but there's a reason why we're talking about consulting. So there's different styles of consulting, right? What's up, Zazzle Q? Let's go here. Um, right here. All right. Different type of consultants, right? D. Um, give me one. Give me a consultant. A one style of consultant you would know. I'll give you a hint. That may be a consultant that may just be an independent contractor, and they may just get some work and do some work, uh 1099, and I don't know, get paid hourly and do a project, right?
Hmm.
Right. Then there's also a consultant that also may still be 1099, but they may go work for a larger company. They may not do any freelance work. They may go work for a larger company like a Boeing or a startup that wants somebody to come in and do some work, maybe some cybersecurity work for them, or maybe they want to come in and do some work with Ansible or whatever the service may be, right? So
Mhm.
it's still a person who's an individual person that goes in, yeah, staff augmentation that goes in and help out or whatnot. And then there's still the person who may go work for, who may be 1099, but go work for a Boeing or a whatever, and that's all they do. Like they don't come on under nobody's contract. There's like, I'll get my own insurance. They'll sign up for a project, and that project will run them, that billet may run them for 2 years. And they're 1099 under their own stuff. They don't, they come in, they integrate with the team, they do whatever they need to do and whatnot, right? Yep.
Uh-huh.
Subject matter experts, right? Then there are consultants, or maybe a consultant agency, where somebody is like, we need for your team to come in to help us win this contract. Or we have this contract, but we need for y'all to do the work because we can't do that work. So we're going to toss this work to you and your team may go off and do that particular portion of that work. Then and then, and wait, there's more. Those are the ones that may go after the government contracts, and they may partner with someone to help them win a bid. The first scenario, they already won the bid, they're just tossing you to work. The other one is you're helping them win the bid and write and response to a proposal, or RFI or RFP or whatever, the OTA or whatever. And there you're helping them work to win that bid and do the work itself too.
Okay, so for when you ask me types of consultants, that's not what I think about first, but what you're describing for me is strategies consultants can use to get opportunities?
You can look at it like that, but I look at it like, um if I was to go as a person who is a subject matter expert, and I go look up, I don't know, uh for work on Upwork or Fiverr or something of that nature, I would be putting my resume together and putting myself out there, right? Versus in some cases, your work speaks for itself and your network speaks for itself, and people come to you, right?
Mhm.
Now, here's the big question. And this is what I was driving to the other week is, how do you get paid? Do you get paid hourly or do you get paid by project? And this is a very touchy subject for a lot of people because most people want to move from hourly to being based on the project. But now the question is, do you know how to look at what a customer needs and drill down into what that customer needs and then pad that enough in case something happens, y'all take a different direction or whatnot, and price the project out. No? Yes. Follow me?
I follow you.
Okay.
I'm waiting for people to answer the question.
Oh, they're not. They're not. All right. So the reason why I bring this up is because after you been in the tech industry, I say about 3 years, right? Because you should be learning, right? Maybe even 5. Um, Learning how to quantify what needs to happen and what you're worth is probably one of the hardest things. See, it's easy when you go to a job interview and you say, "Hey, my name is Quentin, and I've been working in tech for 10 years, and I'm a cybersecurity engineer, and I've been doing pen testing and showing others how they can increase their skill set in pen testing. And since I've been doing it for 10 years, and I have my master's degree in cybersecurity, I should be getting paid at least 200,000." And the company goes, "Yes, you should be getting paid at least 200,000." And you're like, "Great, we're on the same path. So since 200,000 is my bare minimum, I'm going to push to aim for my high, and my high is 280." And the company is like, "Well, we can't really do 280. We can only do 250." And you're like, "Oh, great. 250. That works for me. We have a deal." Now, let's pull that all back out. How do you then turn around and a person or a group of people come to you and they want your expertise on a particular problem that they have, and they come to you and say, "We're on a tight budget, but we can pay 100 an hour." And you say, what do you say? Do you say, "Yes, that works," or you say, "No, that doesn't work"? And if you say, "No, that doesn't work," be prepared to back up your why of why that doesn't work for you, and understand how to market and manage yourself. This is tricky. This is very tricky. So, D, you have been a consultant for people. How do you quantify your worth hourly to someone based upon what they're giving, what you're giving as term of the project?
Mm. how do I quantify that? First of all, I after our initial meeting, and I start with the end first. What do, what is the result that they want to see? What is the result they want to see? Who do they already have in place to make that happen? And what am I coming to do? Because for me, it over the span of my career, I haven't just been a consultant in that respect. So, most of my clients needed some type of management in a sense where it's either project management or um I guess I can tell people like, so basically they want a C-suite person. They want somebody to do strategy, vision over the long haul of their company. Like they're this island, and they're like, okay, but I need marketing and I need project management, I need HR, I need to do all of that. But now not only do I need somebody to help me with this vision and strategize, but I need somebody to implement that. So I was a person in my particular, realm that was able to come up with the strategy and implement it and put the people in place. So, as far as a true consultancy, that's not what consultants do. Consultants offer advice, and they plot out the plan and people go work that plan. Um, for me in consultancy, it is this is what you tell me, this is what I see, this is what I can do, and this is the timeline and the time frame it's going to take me to get there, and this is how much it's going to cost.
Yeah, but the question is, how do you come up with your cost?
How do I come up with my costs? I come
Mhm.
up with my costs based on what my charge is in the market. Like, okay, I charge 150 an hour.
Mm.
So based on that 150 in an hour for that particular cost, it is okay, what is the time frame we can get this done? What is the client's true budget? What is that number per se? How
Right,
fast do they want to get there? Does
right,
that budget include me, or does that budget include the whole project? And sometimes you got to pass
right. And
on
then
some
some,
stuff.
and then sometimes people don't charge by the hour; they just charge by the project. The
And
no,
some when they charge by the if they have a specific price for the project, I tell them the time that I'm available for that project. So based on my rate, based on my rate, I work backwards. If they only have this much money and my rate is 150, they only might get 10 hours. And this is how I communicate. And these are the specs on which I work this project and my
right.
availability to them. Just because you work a project does not mean you're available to somebody for
Y-
like
y-
24/7.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this: like somebody may come with a need, and you look over that project, and you can do the work, and you have the time. But
Right.
instead of charging by the hour, you may charge you may charge a 20,000, 30,000, $40,000 price tag for that project versus by the hour. And within that cost, you need to put in time and effort for things that may come up that you didn't foresee, things that you didn't foresee that you may have to do some research on, or you went down one path and that really didn't work and you have to make a shift or
Right.
whatever.
And I bake those into the
Right,
contract
right.
of what goes on in that contract. And also, initially when I say, do you have other people in place? I base because what people that's why I start with the end first, because what people say what their vision is. What their vision is may not be it. Basically, what they need to get there. If that makes sense. Like until you're like, there's going to be all these if factors. Like big consultancies, they don't care. They have a project and everybody's, they billable hours and things of that nature. However, when you are more on an independent basis and you have and you're working with smaller clients, and you learn, at the end of the day, is that lemon really worth the squeeze? You find out. For me, I've found out how to navigate different budgets, and based on that budget, I'm going to tell them what I can do for that budget. If that's a project that I want to say, what that is going to look like. Because at the end of the day, they might be shopping me and two other consultants based on the price and how much I am going to give them, like what's going on. And we've had it in having projects. For me, most of my projects have been word of mouth based on what I do and what's needed.
Mm-hmm.
When you're out bidding different contracts, now you're up against people that may have more resources for price, but at the end of the day, it ends up kicking them in the foot, because now their workforce is flux, because now you are saying that you can do something and you've underbidded yourself for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's not going to happen. For me, I've worked with budgets. How much do you have? What's going on? Talk to me. Let me see. But again, I've worked, because I'm a operations person, a business person. I can attach that to any industry. You know what I'm saying? So it is it basically boils down to me.
Right, but it also boils down to that customer need, because sometimes customers sometimes charging by the hour can be good and can be bad, and then sometimes charging by the project.
I try to do
Um,
a monthly. I try to do like
so you try to do a subscription.
no, not subscription, but right. So say, and we're talking, and when we're talking, I'm talking from the standpoint of me, the consultant, and what I do behind the scenes as far as finding my price point, all that other good stuff. That's not what I'm offering the client. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Because based on what the client needs, what product, or if they're working on a product, if they're working on a service. Say for instance, I'm just going to pull something out of the sky. I have a client that is trying to release a product, and based on that, their internal schedule, they want to do that within 3 to 5 months. So I'm going to give them if that's that, I want to see a 90-day plan, because really, I don't want to keep working with it. I want to touch and go. I want to give you these 3 months, be on task for these 3 months, hit these time points, and keep it moving. Because as me, the client, I mean, me, the consultant, I make my living off having multiple clients.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So if this is your budget, I might not use all of your budget. What you have, you might need to go get you some more money. You
mm,
might need to rethink your strategy, because as the expert, what you're telling them is, based on what you're giving me, have you guys thought about A, B, C, and D? Or this is not going to work the way you're thinking about it. Let's look at it from this angle. That's what you as the consultant is coming in there and doing, because
so
you are
so
the
that's one
expert.
way. That's one
That's
way.
one way for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
one way.
one way. So the other way is you coming in as the obvious expert. They already have what they want you to do, right? They already have work lined up for you for what you do. So this on
It
the
depends.
so
It
hold,
depends,
hold
because
on,
work lined
hold
up
on,
for you.
hold on,
Listen, listen, listen,
hold on.
listen.
Let
Before
me
you go,
clarify this.
listen.
This hold on. This is on
Okay,
the this is strictly on the tech Linux side that I'm talking about. Let me
right.
clarify that.
Okay, so and that's where it gets back to as well. consultancy is advising people on how to do things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing the work is
To
something
you,
different. So
for
when you
what you're
say have
saying.
something for you to already to do,
Yeah,
can you
yeah,
clarify
because
that for me?
yeah, because in in these situations, they're literally hiring you, the Linux consultant, and they already have work planned, right? And they need for you to come in and possibly pick up the slack or look at the direction in which they're going and say, hey, that's not a good direction. We should plan this. But that happens as a consultant that's coming in. You for what you're saying
No, so
is
what from what I'm getting from you, that's not just consulting. That now we're consulting and we're implementing. So we're coming in as not only the obvious expert, but somebody that can also do the work. Because you said they want you to pick up the slack, right? So
they want you to come in and they have a need. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a good
yeah,
example.
give me a good example.
So some say a position has been open for 6 months and
Mm-hmm.
they can't find someone to do the work. And they already know what the work they need to get done, but the team may lack understanding how to implement it. And the team and they don't have the bandwidth to go out and bring somebody in full time for X number of years. You may be full time for a year, you may be full time for 6 months or whatnot. But they've already lined up exactly what they're looking for, their need, what it is that they want to have accomplished, and they're willing to take your input on it as well too, because you come in with an obvious background and a know-how from other locations. So you may come in and look over their strategy. You may come in and look over where some flaws and some gaps may be missing, and you may come in and also implement what they have defined or what you have redefined in order to do that.
So wouldn't that be a contractor?
Not necessarily.
Because I'm pulling it because I, you know, me, and
Not
again,
not necessarily.
this
Okay, so
for me,
hold on,
these
hold on.
nuances for me, this the business operations person, these terms are important, and I'm sharing with the audience my frame of thought is because what
Mhm,
happens is when you are working in different capacities, whether it is a consultant, a contractor, what me and Tamika are talking, we're discussing back and forth
mhm, mhm.
these nuances, getting them out in the open also avoids scope creep, which will, go over
But
and above what's going on. So
they also money. But let me before you
it's also
start,
money. So listen,
before you
before
read,
that, so okay.
before you read, the reason why I say you say could that be a contractor? It
Hmm.
could be a contractor. It could be a consultant and a contractor at the same time. You could come in and consult and overlook their stuff and they're like, "Oh, well that's cool. Do you know about anybody that could do it? Can you do that work?" So
Hmm.
it could be both. It could be you just come in and oversee what they're doing as a consultant and give them direction and advice and be an advisor to a project, right?
Hmm.
Again, the question still becomes, and this goes back to my original question, is how do you quantify your skill set? And I think when people start to look at how to quantify their skill set and how to and how to I'll hate to say sound cliche, but how to monetize their skill sets and how to put that into a proper form, then you will understand what your different options are, and also where you probably better blend in with your skill sets when you're looking for work. I hope that made sense for folks. Because I know I struggled with that.
Okay, because I'm looking, because we play this. I looked up a consulting contractor, which is a thing,
Hmm.
which is a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So again, this is why we come to How We Linux.
You want to pull it up? You
This
want to share
is
your
this is
screen?
this is why we come. So okay, let me bring it up.
Let me stop sharing.
I'll share my screen. You could let that up. I just pull it down. You removed your screen.
It's okay. Cassandra, you're welcome. You appreciate the clarification of Linux consultant and contractor. Yep. Because there are some Linux jobs out there where you may get paid 40 $50 an hour, and then there are some that you may get paid 150 to 165 an hour, and then there's some you may get paid 110 an hour or 90 an hour. But you're gonna have to figure out what your worth is and understand what that project is requiring. Your screen a little small. Okay.
Is that better?
Mm,
Okay. So it says what I was like, what's a consulting contractor? A consulting can function as a contractor, which means they are brought in to do specific work for that client. But in most cases, they are only working with one client at a time. However, consultant can be an entrepreneurial consultant. Blah 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 blah.
right, which goes
So
back to what you were saying, because you work multiple ones a consulting contractor. You may only work that one project for that year. You're looking to do multiple projects, get them in and get them done. Where and this is I think this is where you have to figure out, if I'm working this one for a year, is this rate of pay gonna be enough as if I had 3 or 4 different contracts?
right, and that's again from our perspectives as the consultant or the contractor. I'm giving my perspective based on what I've done, because 9 times out of 10, like for me, it has been a time in my life where, as a business, I only had clients, and that's how I ate. So it's working your way backwards. It's like, what do I need to live? What is going to be okay? What does that look like? And if I am depending on myself to do all this work and manage these contracts, how many contracts can I do based on that workload, right?
Mm,
And can I do effectively without burnout? And how long is this going to last? What is the work each person, which what work is needed for each contract?
mm,
Now we're in a space, and if people don't know by now, we're not only friends, we're not only co-founders, but we're business partners as well. And we have an IT agency, and there's been times where everything that we talk about, because we are women in Linux, uh, we have done the everything that you mentioned, as far as go out on contracts and do joint ventures. We've done consulting gigs as well. As that's all they want somebody. They have a team, their team is lost. You go in there and you tell them, based on what they're trying to do, this is what the team needs to do to get there, which is like great stuff. I want to see more of those jobs, because it's using your mind, as we discussed on the previous show. It's all brain work. It's based on what you put in out in this in the, based on your experience in totality. I've done this
mm.
work before. This is easy money for me. This is what you guys need to make it happen. A, B, C, D, E. plug, play, blah, blah, blah. And if you identify any skills gaps for that workforce, you say, this is what they need to do that. This is how long it's going to take. Or I have an agency that can come in and fill that gap. Right. And then there's also been times where, we have been the contractor that
Mm-hmm.
has been brought in from maybe another agency, maybe a recruiter. That's when we talk about B2B, business to business, or C2C, corp to corp, and the importance of having your own business. But when it comes down to quantifying what that is, it's basically saying what it's basically coming up with the goals for your company and how you want to grow and what that looks like. Are you just a solopreneur? Are you a multi-member organization? What are your operating costs? You're still a business
Mm-hmm.
in respects. And so in that business, quantifying it is the budget. It's what's my operations cost. Even though I'm a solopreneur, I'm sitting in this office. It's like, okay, I got electricity, I got lighting, I got internet, I have overhead. What is that overhead cost? Because 150 an
Insurance.
hour for people out in the in on Obama's internet, that's an arbitrary number. But first of all, what's the cost of doing business? That's
Mm.
that's the, that's the bare minimum. What's my cost of doing business? How much is it costing me to keep all of these things afloat? What type of insurance do I need in order to perform all these tasks? Do I need errors in admissions? Do I need any licensure? Am I bringing in enough money to do that? Based on who I am, it's so many more questions to quantify what that rate actually entails. Do I have a job already and I'm picking up some extra work on the side? Some of those costs I might not need. I might not have to absorb. Is my client providing me with any equipment or resources to get these done? Or am I looking for stuff that is still just on my brain power and it's minimal? So to me, it's budgeting what your overhead is first, and then what on top of that, and any revenue, your rate of return, and all that other good stuff of what you need in order to keep this ship floating. Because
So,
9 times out of 10, when you starting out with business, what you bringing in is not enough to sustain the boat.
right. So let's look at this one. So you said is there actually people that just do Linux consulting? Yep. Right. Yes. There's expert Linux consulting for CentOS, Debian, and Ubuntu deployments. Now, why did I bring this up? I brought this up because sometimes you need to be very clear about what you offer. Um, and you have to be very clear and say, this is what I offer, and this is one price, but you're looking for X, Y, and Z, and this is another price. And you're gonna have to learn how to make milestones. And you're probably wondering, like, what does this have to do with my day-to-day job? Everything.
Everything.
So what you do at work on your 9 to 5 is you need to be keeping track of, because this is going to help you grow your consulting business, your business in general. You need to write down what you do every day, whether it's today the milestone was to don't write down ticket numbers. Well, you could write down ticket numbers, but write down ticket numbers. But what did you do in that ticket? Today we cleared we cleared Terraform from backing up, or we cleared MySQL cache so we could do X, Y, and Z, or we created 50 Docker containers using a template from that we created, and we X, Y, and Z on that, right? But what I'm trying to get you to understand is, well, how did it how did you do it, right? How who wrote the template? Did somebody go out and research or find the template? um did somebody did you work with someone to get that template done? um did was the template freely out there on the internet? How long did it take to research this? um how much of an effort was to get that done? So what you're doing now is you're timing yourself, right? Right, you're timing yourself. Hey, D, nobody even worry about you. You're timing yourself. So when you time yourself,
You do.
you just have to remove you from the screen. So when you time yourself, this is when you start looking at like, okay, well, it took me 20 hours to research this. And then it took me another 20 hours to implement this. And then it took me 5 hours, excuse me, to test it. Right. So that's 45 hours. But now you're starting to learn on the job how long it takes you to actually do things. Now you have to say, okay, well, even though I found out exactly how to do those things, it was still some trial and error. So you inside of your pricing, you need to include some padding of trial and error, right? So back over here, they're showing you, and we're just looking at their website, right? Clear expert Linux consulting for CentOS, Debian, and Ubuntu deployments. What type of Linux do they work with, Dion? CentOS, Debian, and Ubuntu, right?
It's on the screen. I'm like, is that a trick question?
No, I wanted you to answer. It's on the screen, right? Right. All right. Now, when you look at this, also, what technical support do they offer? 24/7. So now the question is, how do you quantify 24/7 support? How do you write that into your consulting, right? How do you write that in, right? So it says we provide on-site Linux consulting in Europe and remote consulting worldwide. You can hit us up worldwide. We're not just limited to Europe. We're worldwide if you need us, right? And it says our Linux experts have consulted from some of the largest countries in a range of industry. A dedicated team of Linux consultants are always standing by to help you with your requirements and ongoing support to help find the best solutions. Are our experts Linux services for you? And then they talk about that. We're ready to help. Now let's get back over here. Now let's look at what services they offer, right? They offer, and they're very targeted with their offering. They offer MariaDB MySQL consulting. They offer MariaDB MySQL support. And then they take it one step further and say MySQL performance is totally separate than consulting with MariaDB, right? So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at, oh, you need MariaDB built. You need a database built. You already have a database built and you need our support for it. You have a database built, but it's some performance struggling. And so we may need to look at some queries or how you have the data set up or your table set up and so forth. So that's something totally different, right? And if it's a high availability cluster, if it's two active actives, whatever is active high, I mean active cold, how we looking at that? All those things. We got replication in place, we got mem cache in place, all those things. That's totally different. And then they have Linux consulting. So let's go to Linux consulting. All right. Oh, that's what I was just on. So what they didn't do in here, oh, here it is. What is a Linux server? They break it down. Lightweight, uptime, Linux consulting services. Our Linux consulting service may be provided remotely on premise, full range service from installation to regular maintenance. With our experience, knowledge of both established and emerging technologies, we can design the best solution for your web servers. Now, what I don't see in here, and I'm gonna get to this in a minute. What I don't see in here is do they include automation with Ansible as part of their Linux services? Is that separate though? Because I could build you a web server, but in order for me to uh, automate things and so forth, there may be something else. I don't know. I don't know what's included in that. But here we go. They have a subscription based support, 1 to 4 hours, SLA for production Linux system, CentOS, Debian, includes a monthly health check. And they got that priced here on a monthly basis. They got high availability architecture and design. And then they got their consultancy per day. For any requirements, we offer Linux consultancy services to help you with systems administration, monitoring, systems architecture, and migrations. And when you require $900 a day.
That's is that $900, or is that euros?
Euros, yeah.
So they have a dollar sign like this. That's USD.
Yeah,
But I wonder
$900
if
a day.
those are. But they say US and Europe or just Europe.
They say anywhere in the world.
Oh,
All right. Performance review and optimization, $200. Right. And this is not a day. This seems like this is an hour. Right. Right. So what I'm saying to you is, how do you come up with these numbers? And you're gonna have to figure that out. How you gonna come up with these numbers and what's included in that? Now let's go look at another one.
because I know I'm over here breaking it down on my mental spreadsheet of what that looks like and where their 24-hour support is located in the world.
Right. So this one is called the Crafty Penguins. Crafty Penguins is a growing team of 13 Linux experts. Now we're 13 of them, right? And it's a growing number of experts whom have decades of experience in Linux technology. We are a Linux IT consulting firm with a sister company called Kirchhoff Technologies, which is a Microsoft Windows MSP. So they're a Microsoft provider and a Linux provider all in one. Even though they have two different specialties, they're all in one team. We all use the same ticket system, Slack and Wiki, sit at the same physical office, and have the same leadership team. All right, we earn your trust. We lean into challenges. We look at the bigger picture. We constantly improve, and then you get a chance to meet their team. I don't want to meet their team. Let's go back to their services. Okay, Linux consulting services. Okay, so D, this is where you and I were talking earlier. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So consulting services, system design and architecture, Linux migration and installation. It doesn't say that they'll help you design a migration and help you set up for installation. That seems more like implementation there. Linux server management, remote server management, IT roadmap, security reviews and assessment, break fix support, still falls under Linux consulting, backup and assessments, and research and development. Right? If you need to research something, we do that too. Right? They also do infrastructure managed services. So here I go with that automation that I was talking about. Workload automation, configuration management. Let me see. Log management, cloud applications, security intrusion detection, EDR, highly availability managed services, SRE, and storage management, infrastructure support, and cloud support management. Then they get down here to SaaS consulting, right? SaaS consulting, SaaS infrastructure consulting, infrastructure scalability, performance tuning, serverless, cloud infrastructure, CI/CD, SaaS high availability, SaaS infrastructure design, migrations, planning and deployments, maintenance, right? And wait, there's more. Linux server support, boot issues, Ubuntu, break fix, 24 by 7 emergency response, CentOS support, Rocket Linux, Red Hat support, Debian, Ubuntu, emergency Linux support, infrastructure monitoring services, migration consulting, cloud consulting, DevOps. Oh, you need DevOps consult? We do that
Let me
too.
tell you, I'm feeling the website refresh in a minute. Like,
Yeah.
whoo,
Microsoft infrastructure, microservice infrastructure, IT consulting, totally different than Linux consulting.
totally different. Totally
Totally
different.
different. Strategic, project management, knowledge transfer, IT management. You need a virtual CIO, you need a virtual CTO, which is a thing to be a virtual CIO and a virtual CTO. And you could be a virtual CIO and a CTO for multiple companies. You don't have to be tied to one company. You could be a virtual CIO and a CEO of one company and go work at another company. Of course, you know you got to watch those NDAs, but you may charge this one company 100,000, and you may charge another company 200,000. It's really dependent. I'll talk about that offline. That's a mastermind class, D. That's a
It
mastermind class.
is.
That's a mastermind class. I can't give y'all all the game. I can't give all the game for free. I can't give y'all all the game for free.
But we can expose you to a lot of stuff. Like I said, even what we have going on, like I see a refresh change
Man,
today.
drop a one in the chat if you feeling like you want to make some money. Drop a one in the chat if you don't go nowhere else and get this kind of game. I looked at all the other Linux stuff. They be talking about roadmaps and the differences and this, that, and other. They'll never tell y'all about how to make no money. They always be telling y'all how to get skills, but they don't never tell y'all how to convert your skills into money. And I don't care what nobody say. You need to convert your skills into money so you can eat. You need to be able to eat.
No, it's always these paywalls to the bag, and when you finally get to that last one, it's still like, but it's up to you. You can do it, and it's just like you've told me nothing.
Yeah.
I am back to square one.
Um, VPN, firewall configuration, audit analysis, and this is strictly under IT consulting. All right. Not seeing what you're looking for? Contact us. This is the Crafty Penguins. And I thought you all would like the Crafty Penguins website
Good
to,
info.
to
I
give
think
you
and also
insight.
it also confirms what we say about the five foundational elements that you need starting your career journey. It says it right here under the IT consulting, like Linux consulting services. What is needed is just not a standalone technology per se. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Here's their tech stack. I know you know what this is, right? So Linux distributions, DevOps, they work with Kubernetes, the Salt Stack, SAC, they work with the Elk Stack, Jenkins, Ansible, GitLab, Atlassian. What I don't see is GitHub Actions on here. Um, AWS, all the clouds, including they put OpenStack on here because it's an on-prem cloud. Databases, enterprise storage, programming languages, your baseline, Amazon cloud services, file systems, high availability, web proxy, virtualization, VPN tunneling, log management, caching, networking, monitoring, web frames. This is their tech stack. And then
I hope people are taking notes.
the methodology that they use. Okay, so as a consultant, most people are looking for agile or safe agile, right? And I'm going to tell you, on your consultancy, as an individual or working with others, twofold. If you're gonna do it as an individual, go ahead and understand agile principles. Go get a test on, go take a test on being safe agile. I'm gonna tell you that. The other part is I'm gonna say this as well to understand that you don't have to know everything. You can always hire out. Now, I'm telling you to know this for yourself because it just makes you a better and effective person when you're working and trying to get these contracts or consulting gigs. However, you need to know so when you hire somebody, you know that they not pulling wool over your eyes. And it's just something that you just should know. So it's kind of twofold. Know for yourself, understand it, get the cert in it, go hire somebody else to do the work, but you at least have knowledge. However, the other thing is now that you both have the knowledge, you don't have to have that person to do all the work all the time. Because now you can hire that person out to do maybe one or two contracts and you take on one contract. So instead of turning work away, you're keeping work as much as possible. Right?
Oh,
Go ahead.
and also with that, understanding the overall business and the line of business and what they're lacking is affecting their bottom line. Because what's happening now is that you can quantify your cost based on the cost that they're losing and what they could be making. So you're adding value all the way around. Because at the end of the day, people understand those numbers and those numbers matter. And a lot of times, me and Tam see it all the time, people skip on things as important as security and they make these little concessions in these other little places that are critical business needs. And they're like, oh, well, everything is an afterthought. But if you can connect the dots of what you're doing and how it affects their bottom line, value.
Now I'm going back over this because you said something, right? You said security. Ain't nothing on here that talked about security. It you know why? You know why they ain't say nothing about security? Because 9 times 10 is probably embedded in there. However, it is another service. It is another service. Security is embedded in this, but it's actually another service offering. Because you may tell me that you want to build a MariaDB database, but I don't mean I got to secure it, right? But I should be following best practices, right? Do you consider Linux, MySQL, Python tools or are they skills? I consider them tools because they frequently change. I consider them both. I consider Linux as a skill, and I consider understanding how to build a MySQL cluster as a skill. I also consider how to use Python to do queries with MySQL as a skill. But I also look at them as tools as well too, right?
And then how do you put that, like, if you're going for W-2 employment, do you list, I'm curious to know, do you list them as tools or skills on your resume?
Skills. Tech stack is part of my tech stack, right? Um,
That's what I'm gonna put on my resume. Tech stack. I'm gonna change the game.
all right, so here we go. Here is their, I guess what you could consider. Here is the way they onboard you,
Can you
but
make that
this
a
is
little
their,
bigger for us?
yeah, but this is how they, um, I guess this is how they walk you through their process and what they, I guess you consider what they consider their agile method, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so understand and align, quick wins. We talk about that all the time. And I'm going to move over to another thing, the scale agile joint. Research and audit, right? Strategy and roadmap and onboarding. you have to go through these things here. Basically, they're setting up milestones for quick wins. What's that roadmap going to look like for that? And then this is how they do: execute, track, report, identify, reaffirm, revisit. Right? Better today than yesterday. Every day, iteration is what they're trying to show. Quick wins, smaller iterations. Let's get it done. Right? And then they go through to define what each one of those mean. Um, they also have a blog here where they go into CICD, Prometheus, why we love Prometheus and Grafana, kernel module snippets, just the work that they have done, and so forth, right? Strategies to lead remote team members well, technology considerations of six ways, more than 6 ways to we can help, and then so forth and so on. All right. I like their website. I like how things are laid out, but I want you all to keep in mind that when you're looking at this, hold on, let me click on entrepreneurship here. DevOps, entrepreneurship people, rebuilding technology, tips for software managers, resources, SaaS resources for entrepreneurs. But let's go back over. What was I going? Methodology blog about. What I want you to notice is they're not doing it by themselves.
13.
They're not doing it by themselves. So they've all come together as individuals, as teams, as a team, and built a consultancy that allows them to maneuver in and out of different lanes. So you don't have to do it all by yourself. That's the cool part. Now you got to do some conversation and come up with, like, again, I guarantee you they're probably more project based than the other ones are hourly based, and go from there. Yeah, of course. Of course, that's a skill, right? So let me see. Here's another one: enterprise Linux consulting. All right, this one is 18 systems. So far, are we liking the consulting talk? Are you liking the companies that I picked out? I picked them out for reasons, and you can write in the chat what you think my reason is. Write in the chat what you think my reason is. All right, so 18 systems, right? Expert cloud and dedicated server administrators. 18 systems put your infrastructure worries to rest. They have Linux support, and they have free BSD. They cover everything from PHP to MySQL, Apache to Nginx, with Linux server expert with decades of experience from small servers to high volume websites. Free BSD, and they're part of the free BSD community. They also handles availability and scaling, and then offsite backups. All right. So let's go back. All right. Here's what they provide. All right. Linux consultants provide enterprise grade support of affordable hourly rates, support that is 24 by 7 via phone, email, or web, one off support or ongoing support plans, support for Linux OS and a wide breadth of applications, solutions to problems using Linux industry standards and best practices, a complete solution helping you bring the together the necessary pieces. And then they say, why should you choose them, and so forth, right? contact us. We'd love to hear from you. Call us. They have a live chat, which you could probably install an app and get right to your phone, and then email us and so forth, right? They're based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and I guess their corporate is Cheyenne, Wyoming, right? So that's a little bit about them, right? Let me go back. I think I got. Do I got one more? Let me look. Nope, that was all the ones I had. Them the top three that I had picked out. So I'm gonna remove my screen from now. All right, and I want D you the audience, give me some feedback on what type of consultancy would you start, like based upon what you just saw here, right? Because again, you consultancy contractor, I think is probably more better suited for you what you're thinking, right? Does that make sense for you, or does this make sense too as consultant?
Honestly, all the ways makes sense to me. My line of questioning more was for clarity for the audience on what those types of things look like based on the questions in my mind, because that's also a role of a consultant or in tech general in general is asking the questions. No question is too big or too small because those nuances of what you thought or what you assume can cost you money.
Right.
They affect your bottom line. Because at the end of the day, we have a company that offers these types of services. You know, in we the way we approach getting new business is different ways based on our relationship.
Right. So I'm gonna show you all this. So this is a training assessment. This is on redhat.com. You can go somewhere else and find another training assessment, but I want to I want to get your mind flowing on your skill sets and consulting and so forth. And it's a reason for this. So here, when you look at this, right, you see, all right, you see Red Hat Linux and system administration. That is consulting by itself. That's all you do, right? But then you add a skill set and you be like, oh, I'm gonna do Ansible tower and automation on Ansible platform. That's another skill set. I'm gonna do OpenShift and containers. That's two more skill sets because there's containers within that, and then there's OpenShift. Right? And then you got down here, oh, make sure you following best practices. Well, we saw that. Some people need somebody to come in and say, these are best practices, these are things that you might have ran into, these are things that you can fix, and so forth and so on. I don't know if y'all remember this job. The Linux job that was for 250,000 for a beginner, and they wanted to teach they want the person to come in and learn old camel, but they wanted them to have at least probably about 3 years of Linux administration, and they were hiring out of New York. Well, old camel integration and development, camel, right? Here we go. Here, this is a that's another skill set that I'm talking about. This another skill set. Here, building resilient microservices with Istio and OpenShift and understanding service mesh with Kubernetes and so forth. And sometimes it's just understanding service mesh. That's probably like 3 skills right there, right? Then we get into middleware and JBoss middleware, Java programming, self is storage, troubleshooting and diagnostics. You saw that as a separate skill set. Red Hat high availability and cluster, high performance computing and cluster management, and high availability with clusters is a skill set. IDM, a skill set. Understanding how to use IDM for authentication with with Linux boxes and um, Windows boxes and so forth. That's an actual job, and every last one of these are actual positions and skill sets that you could have in a consultant agency or just as a consultant itself. These are just your skills. So now when you start to look at who you are and your skill sets, how do you quantify that? And that's something that you're going to have to start working towards and looking across the energy, right? Yep, skill sets are intangible assets. I always say that. So here I was looking at event driven Ansible, which is fairly new, where people can be on the crust of they're at the forefront of that. That's going to be needed in the subsequent years. Trust me. Here, Red Hat certified and validate content collections for event driven Ansible, and they could kind of walk you through that and so forth and so on. So I put these out here because a lot of people are always like, what's the next best what's the next best thing, the next best thing. And it's not what's the next best thing, is what is here now that's going to have longevity for the next 10 to 20 years. And cloud isn't going anywhere, Ansible isn't going anywhere, configuration management isn't going anywhere. It may be automated. You may just use Chat GPT to write the playbooks or something like that, but it's still gonna be here. And speaking of Chat GPT to write a playbook, I did it right here. I used Chat GPT to write me a playbook to shut down shut down AWS machines whenever it has high memory. So, being able to set your threshold on high memory. If something happens, kick this Ansible playbook off and then go from there. Right. So just little nuances like that you all are gonna see. Right. We talked about that. All right. So I brought this over here because it says Walmart is quietly growing into a retail tech titan. And I think people don't know about Walmart Labs and how they operate, right? So here, let's look up Walmart Labs. Um and let me come over here and do Walmart Labs too. So Walmart Labs is their technologies side of the house. And let me blow this up. So here, just off the rip, 80 jobs for data science, 299 jobs for software development and engineering, 52 jobs for cyber, 23 for information technology, and 8 for project management. So, which one do you want to go with, D? I'm gonna check off the check boxes, but I'm gonna leave only one. Which one do you want to leave?
Let's see. Do information technology. When I go in there, I usually stick with the infrastructure first when I go in and look for jobs for us. And then I look what they have in technology, and then depends on how big the company is. I always I always look for the tech jobs within every department because even though
Oh,
they have information technology, HR might have a tech job that's not listed under information technology as well. So
yeah. So they got staff technology, program manager, senior manager, Analyst, program manager, supervisor, staff and technology, director of technology, and so forth. All right, so let's go back. Let me go to view jobs, and let's see what they got under software and um software development, engineering, cybersecurity. All right, so here cryptography, advanced systems engineer, cybersecurity, risk lead, cybersecurity. Um, let me see what else they got in here. Advanced systems engineer, security, sale point engineer. All right. You said you curious to see what they got for software development. I just take that off. $2.99. Front end, back end, mobile, POS system more than likely. Full stack, 3D operations, and they got a slew of other jobs. But they just give you some insight. They just give you some insight. All right. Trying to think, did I cover every single thing? I could save these for this. That's gonna be a deeper dive. I can save those. All right. The embrace of AI immigration has turned Toronto into a tech hub. What's not to like? So Toronto is a huge tech hub. They actually got a Slack group. I actually supposed to have a guy on the show, and I just never take the time to get back with him. He's a tech. I think they're called Tech Stars. That's, don't quote me. Hold on. Don't quote me. Hold on. Let me go. I'll tell you in 1 second. Um, I used to have him right here. Where is he? Oh, Tech Masters. Tech Masters is the Slack group for Toronto. Tech Masters.
Oh, I have a new colleague, and he was from Toronto in his first week on the job.
Oh, they migrated to Discord on June the 12th. It is called Join the Refactor Community Discord. Yeah. If you go to Refactor, see, hold on. I'm opening up now. I'm gonna accept the invite. Yeah, they're in the Discord. It's called Refactor Community. So if you look up Refactor Toronto or Refactor Discord Tech Toronto, they got their conference coming up right here and Discord membership there. For those that are interested. Oh, it already happened. They did it. The conference dedicated, blah 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 blah. They have a Discord, so forth and so on. The guy who is the founder of this particular Slack is Ahmad Nasari. Um, that's Ahmad. Not that one. He's in Canada. Uh, let's narrow it down. Ooh, spell it right. Windsor architect. Yep, there he is. Doesn't look like one like him. Nah, that ain't him. Not a Windsor. I gotta get his LinkedIn. And the where did I meet Ahmad at? Oh, I think I met Ahmad in Seattle. Met him in Seattle. He is the founder of Tech Masters. Let's see, Ahmad. Let's see, founder of Tech Masters. And that might be him. Yeah, that's him. That look more like him. But y'all check them out. They got a Discord now, so they're over in Discord. Check them out. D. Anything else you want to talk about on consulting? I could go on, but I'm not.
Like you said, that's for a mastermind.
Okay.
I think we can have it. But I always like feedback from the audience. And these are conversations that we have often about.
And what feedback you want from the audience? Are you dropping the link?
No, I'm not dropping. No, I'm not gonna drop the link. We'll save that for Atlanta next week, as far as feedback and things of that nature. But
yeah, we gotta come up with an agenda today.
there's so many things that we can do. There's getting additional revenue streams is endless. It's endless. Each skill that you have is an asset. Being a project manager, knowing programming, depending on what language you have, like every skill that you have is an asset. And how you use it and how you apply it and how you earn a living for that is an asset. So don't count yourself out. Make a mind map of your skill sets. See where you have gaps. See how you want to improve. See how you want to grow. Because in all actuality, we did this because we wanted to see people come on and grow companies and build wealth. Like Tamika said in the last show, we need accredited investors. We need you to be at those levels. There's things we need to do. Our job is not done. While we have breath, air in our bodies, we got things to do. We got this empire building right here. I don't want to be left behind.
In the cemetery.
I don't want to be watching that bit to spigot. Waiting for the sprinklers to hit me in the butt.
With your coochie rama out.
No. That's it. What do you say? Who gonna check your balls?
Who gonna check your balls?
Who check your balls? I slid out the chair. I said, "This nut here. This nut here." Like
Ask me questions.
These resources that we provide, the strategies, it works. It works. It works. That's all I have to say. It works. Implement something. It doesn't have to be a big. Stop. This other one I crack up to. Stop scamming yourself.
Scammer.
The conversations that internal dialogue that you're having with yourself about, you know, if a recruiter's going to do this or who's going to do that, you're creating this dialogue with yourself that is unnecessary. You're talking yourself out of opportunities before you even have a chance to give yourself a chance. Women in Linux is here. We're here.
That's right, Filthy Frank. Who gonna check your balls tonight?
We're here. We're here. We're a community. You don't have to be on an island by yourself. Come out on Wednesdays. Let's talk about it. Get some of this synergy. If you're already in the Slack group, reach out. Start up conversations. You don't have to wait for us on Wednesdays. If there's something that you're interested in, let us know. Get a couple of people together. I would love to sit in on some on some sidebar conversations, some fireside chats people are having about different things. We're a community. We built this. It's just not me and Tam just talking about some stuff. I want to see who emerges out of this group. You got people working jobs and things of that nature. But each one, the more you know, the more you owe. Each one teach one. What are we doing to further the mission? At the end of the day, Tam and I know what we wanted to see. That's why we have Women in Linux. We're doing our part. We're showing up. It may not be the way you want us to show up, but we're here. And if you have some other things that you want to bring to the table, holla. Accessible in Slack. Send me an email. However, I need solutions. Come to the table with something. We have volunteer spots open for people to do things. It's just us two. But we're here. The energy that we are emitting right now for people just want better, to do better, to know that it's attainable, that it's accessible. Just one step at a time. 1 hour a day. One question. Investing in yourself. $5 a day.
Sydney, that's all you got? You done?
That's it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
One, thank you. But again, learn, you guys gotta look at how to uh set yourself up. Like I said, the guy told me, and this was 5 or 6 years ago. He's like, "What? You not getting paid 500 an hour?" He's like, "I don't know what you're doing, Tamika. You got to do better." I was like, "Oh,
This was at a conference. He was like,
bit
everybody getting it. Let's go talk about it. How can we let's get you there.
500 an hour." I was like, "Bit,
We were in Toronto. Actually. Sign me up.
bit." Let's do some calculations there, because people don't. I think sometimes people need to see the money, see it, and then
I
you
don't think
believe.
so. Because when they see it, they're gonna think that's something they can't do. It's not for them. They don't believe it. Like it's always going to the black hole. Everything that you come up with, it's gonna be a black hole. It's gonna be another excuse
Five
for why
hundred
they
an
can't do
hour
it.
at 40 hours a week and 4 times a week. I mean, 4 weeks in a month. It's $80,000.
Frank, you worried about the wrong thing. It's for taxes is the cost of doing business.
No, that's when you have to create things so
We
that you
just
don't
talked
have to
about
get.
we just talked about different strategies, consultancy. That's a whole nother show.
I look, listen, people. This be the funny one right here. I laugh at this one too. People like people say, "Don't lease. You don't lease no car. Mm, don't lease no car. Mm, don't lease no car in your personal name, maybe." Tax loss harvesting, exactly. Yep. So $80,000 a month.
Let me tell you, I'd rather pay taxes on $400,000 than paying no taxes on nothing and be over there washing up in the cemetery.
Well, you all, it's been real. I hope y'all got a lot out of today. I am hungry. I had a
You know,
smoothie.
it's like,
We gotta get this place together real quick. I just sent you one. Um, I gotta get people set up. I gotta get some food because I'm gonna be hungry next week. So I'm gonna make sure some food is there and something to drink.
hey, Frank, I can't speak to your goals. Your goals is whatever you want to do. Whatever your exit strategy is, you can sit in a shed with foil windows, puffing on a joint, growing
Ooh
vegetables.
la la la.
If that's what you want to do, it's your goal.
You can be like, what's the song? I was something something, and then I got high.
Hopefully, you own the land you over there puffing on. But as we know, shoot, the, the municipalities, the state will come on there, be like, we need you to hook up to our line. Pourquoi? I'm off the grid. I don't need your electricity. They be like, but you gonna get it. You gonna be like, but I don't need it. Then they be like, eminent domain. You're like, well, where I'm gonna go? To space? They're gonna try to regulate that too. Like, it's always going. It's the cost of doing business. It's the cost of life.
Smart money chick. I did a whole YouTube series on um apprenticeships and everything last week. Go look at that video. I mean, it's all the video links, everything is in there. And the jobs that was posted, they already posted them in Slack.
And
And the
they're no
apprentice
longer
and
accepting applications.
apprenticeship.gov, that's all on there. That was in there.
Yeah,
Everything that was talked about was already there. I did it in the video. Sure did.
sure did. Don't
And
hoard your information.
and
Use
that
it.
was my email list. That was my email list.
Yeah, all our info. You know, everybody already know our stuff is in Slack.
That was
It's in
my
Slack.
email
Go to
list.
apprentice.gov. Like, those are just a couple of resources. Job applications are open. So, no.
Yeah, the stuff, the PBS special, CompTIA, AWS Restart, Delta Apprenticeship, um, Home Depot Apprenticeship. Um, those are the places where I would look for apprenticeships. Like there's a co-op program. I'm looking at it now. They got it's called a rotational program. Uh, right here.
TechRX. I'm trying to get to Bali now. I got a friend of mine. She's already there. They're renting a villa and just chilling.
Yeah, this is Delta rotational program. How to use the guide. I don't want to know how to use the guide. Reject all. Oh, here. About the rotational program, analysts who are graduating from accredited 4 year undergraduate degree or graduate program. That's that one. Then they got the MBA program, the internship program. They got a co-op program. It's right there on Delta site. The co-op program. Students who enrolled in a 4 year college consider Delta's co-op program, so forth. The other stuff was CompTIA and Home Depot and IBM, Microsoft. You can look at Lockheed Martin, and I talked about this too. Do Lockheed Martin apprenticeship, explore apprenticeship. Here it is right here. Some of these are closed, but there you go. Engineering apprenticeships. Uh, there are 2 pages on that one. Mm, yeah, and I also did a whole show with some other apprenticeship stuff too. Rosetta. All right, so Amazon technical apprenticeship. They don't have any job openings, but I would contact somebody on Amazon website. I mean on LinkedIn to see if when they open those back up, right? For technical apprenticeship. Accenture. Do apprenticeship movement, apprenticeship source guide. You can contact them. Here is they say they have today. The network has 70 plus member organizations and has well exceeded initial goal to create 1,000 plus apprenticeship program. Here's the Chicago one, and they got a contact list there. And then apply to be an apprentice. Let's see what happens when I hit apply. Entry level for 2023. There you go. Then they got a listing of the what they pay or whatnot, right? And you only need a high school diploma. And I would work it for maybe 6 months and then try to go full time. Because at that point, they could sponsor your clearance. Career karma. All right, tech apprenticeship programs, the best paid apprenticeships. Um, you can go to Career Karma, and they have a whole listing here. What an apprenticeship does. Here are the types of apprenticeships. How much you would get paid as a data science apprenticeship, 104,000. A cybersecurity apprenticeship, 98,000. And then a list of programs. They got IBM, Twitter, LinkedIn, Microsoft, Leap, Google, and other coding apprenticeships and so forth, right? That's one. And that was it. That was all the apprenticeships. The rest were jobs, um, positions in safe, agile. Uh, we didn't talk about coaching, technical coaching, how to train a trainer, and so forth, and AWS Restart. And this was the PBS special. Uh, this one right here is a tech apprenticeship program helping middle America find jobs without college. This is from 2 years ago. But the reason why I was posting, I was showing this is because so people can get an idea of why and how some apprenticeships came to be, and they've been around for a minute. People just end up literally going for internships. But this goes back to the original conversation on the first show where I talk about alternative ways for people to get skills. Right? Let's see. I wonder how desperate are these top tier companies because I'm getting two different stories. One being that they have people already. I don't know what you're applying for.
That's what I was thinking. Like, are you applying? What kind of feedback are you getting?
The stock photos on promotion web pages always make it seem like So many people have already graduated. I don't know when you say that on the promotional websites. Alibu, thank you. Did you ever fit? I don't know what broken links you're talking about. I I I literally don't know what you're talking about. Like you go to womeninlinux.org, you can get there. If you go to meetup.com/womeninlinux, you can get there. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah. If it's a specific URL, let us know and we'll take a look at it.
I did. I looked at the ones that
No, I'm
he
talking
mentioned.
about Frank. If there's something,
Yeah, yeah,
specific, let us
yeah.
seriously
He
know.
posted it on in the comment section, and I looked at all those and I answered those questions.
Oh, okay, cool beans.
Yeah. So I looked at womeninlinux.org. I also looked at um I also looked at meetup.com/women in Linux. You can get there. And I think you took down on the connect. You probably want to take that down. You took down the people can join Slack from there, right?
I think so. I think
It,
I
it,
thought I
it
rerouted it.
it's still up because I'm looking at it right now. Let me see what happens when I hit join. Yeah, when you hit join, it says the certificate has expired. You just have to take that down because I think you disabled it.
Oh yeah,
Because
when I
you
go
could
in, I get it, and maybe it's saved in my cache, maybe. But when I hit it, I go directly
no
to the page.
no the link is still up on the website.
Where are you hitting connect at? On at the in the menu or in the where to start?
It's home about connect
Right,
womeninlinux.org.
right. What I'm saying is when I click it, it goes to the Slack page.
That's because you're logged in. So look,
We can do that offline.
no, I'm just showing you, right?
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing. I'm just saying take that off. Take connect off. That's what I'm saying. Shit. Companies are seeking people desperately. My LinkedIn messages are filled with recruiters, Nike, Etsy, and many more. Yep. It depends, Frank, on what you're looking at and your skill set. Right? It really does. It depends on what you're looking at. All right. I'm out. Y'all have a good night.